Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the fourth edition of the Dil Se series that we began on the last weekend of February. The pandemic meant, that obviously a number of people who joined the Heartfulness community during that time didn't get the complete experience that Heartfulness offers. The biggest and the most critical aspect of that being, a complete lack of interaction with Daaji, who always is extremely eager to interact with as many practitioners as possible and answer their questions and meditate with them. Also, addressing any queries that they might have along the way, and also accelerate their progress on their inner journey and also their spiritual path. So this is a special series that was inspired by Daaji for him to get this opportunity to interact directly with the practitioners who've joined in the last 3 years and of course have questions about the practice itself, life, or anything else that's playing on their mind. Um, the last three weekends have almost been, very cathartic for me, I would say, with, Daaji sharing and covering various aspects of the practice, the four daily practices that we have, and with specific emphasis on cleaning and how it can also be used during the day when we are facing any stressful situation, and how can we really just use cleaning as a way for us to be in the present and in the next moment address whatever is coming to us with a very fresh mind and a fresh perspective. Daji's also shared a lot of tips on how we can deal with negativity and also negative people around us, because as we work in the corporate, in our work and professional context or personal lives, we do have others around us, and how what is the best way and what are the tips that we can use to deal with those people in an effective way. And also keeping in mind the current war situation in the world, he urged all of us to pray for peace. There were a number of questions that came around, what can we do as individuals when there is war all around and there's so much upheaval and there is destruction and there is sadness and there is human loss? What is it as heartfulness practitioners we can do? And he suggested vehemently and repeatedly that what we can do in our capacity is to just pray for peace around the world. And one other thing that struck me was his advice on doing things collaboratively as opposed to competitively. And since we have a number of people who are joining us from the corporate world as part of our Kaushalam program, I thought of sharing this because he insisted that increasing the pie, so to say, as we prosper is much better, because we take more people along with us as opposed to doing it in a very competitive way where I think more about my growth and my progress and me climbing the corporate ladder or the social ladder, but not doing it in a way that everyone along with me grows. Pranam Daji.
Pranam Pragya.
How are you?
Oh, wonderful.
Good to see you again.
Yes, my dear. This Kanha is breezing with spring air, just the right temperature.
Fantastic. Lovely to hear that. I think the spring is also influencing your mood and your smiling year to year. So it's lovely to have you in good spirits.
Well, I'm good at pretensions, so.
Well, so of course, I was just talking a little bit about our earlier sessions, Daji, since this is the fourth part of the Dil Se series that we launched, inspired by you. So just very quickly jumping into the kind of people who've joined us today, we have practitioners joining us from around the world. A number of them are leaders from McKinsey, Ramco, which is a technology company, and other corporates who are part of our Kaushalam program as well. So that's what the mix looks like. I wanted to also mention that we have a professional violinist, Ganesh Prasad, who's, I think, has played at Manapakam and also at our Berlin meditation centers, who's joined us as well. So welcome, everyone.
Hello.
So I just wanted to kick this off, Daji, by asking the first question to Anusha ji, who has joined us. And She actually has two questions, but Anusha ji, if you're here, I would hand it over to you to ask the questions. Otherwise, Daaji, I'll ask her question. She basically is a beginner who started recently, and she says that she feels a very calming effect, and it lasts for a short while and is disrupted with a simple external stimuli. So, therefore, her question is, how do you stay motivated to be consistent despite that? And how does one remain in that calm state of mind for as long as possible?
I too had this typical problem after meditating for half an hour or so. You get into a very sublime state where you feel so calm and absorbed and extremely peaceful. And then, yeah, after meditation, you might have tea, coffee, some breakfast, and maybe watching TV. And after seeing something, you lose a connect that you already had. The peaceful feeling that you had sometimes seem to just go out of your hand, just like that. And you remain, oh, what happened to? I was just having it, and now it's like somebody moved my cheese, but nobody moved it. You lost it yourself. And the lovely example Babuji Maharaj gave about this retaining a spiritual condition, very apt. He said, when you lay a concrete, they allow it for a few hours for curing it. They keep on sprinkling water until it settles down. You don't start using the freshly laid concrete, otherwise it will form various imprints. You must have seen many youngsters writing, I love Monica or I love so and so. They are there forever. The imprints are there forever. Dog marks are there, or cows walking, or some lady with a high heel, forget where she's walking into, and she'll walk into this freshly laid concrete. You can see all those things. Mostly footprints are from women than men. I wonder why. They are in that dream world walking on the concrete, you see. And you can see that, when we are building this Kanha ashram, especially the roads, most footprints are from sisters. And that shows the state of mind. You see, you're so busy, preoccupied, thinking of so many other things and not paying attention to reality around you. Now, so Babuji Maharaj said, just as we don't start using concrete immediately, allow it to settle down and use it after 2-3 days. Likewise, spiritual condition that we are gifted with during the meditation, you spend so many hours meditating, preparing for it. Why do you want to lose it right away? He said, after half hour of meditation, don't just get up just like that, like a spring, and you think, oh, my meditation is over. Your spiritual state will be over. So as soon as you finish your meditation, gently open your eyes and slowly try to savor the inner condition. Try to be one with it. Try to see how it feels. And if you can take it further, see where you felt the vibrations. In the beginning of our practice, you just have to pay attention to this 1 square foot of real estate. That's all. Divide it into 4. Left lower, left upper, right lower, and right upper. That's all. And see, when you meditate, where did you feel the vibrations? Where did you feel lightness or heaviness? It is generally at one of the spots in the beginning. So pay attention to these two things, lightness or heaviness, where you felt vibrations. And later on, as you start identifying the vibrations, try to feel whether they are clockwise or anti-clockwise. Further, whether you had a lot of thoughts, it's okay, but are you able to recollect those thoughts that you had during meditation? That's a very important thing, because often we do get thoughts during meditation, but at the end of meditation, if someone asks you, what did you think about? There is, oh, I don't know, I cannot recollect. So that is the beauty of this meditation. See, mind will be somewhere, your consciousness will be somewhere, and your end result is something else. That's why it really does not matter what happens during meditation. The end of it should be sublime, lighter, and peaceful. So, having savored the condition for a few minutes, try to be one with that condition. It's like, the blind person, they are taught to identify through touch, braille language. See? We are also very blind when it comes to spiritual language. But we can associate that spiritual growth, spiritual letters through our feelings. Each time the feeling will be different. And when it is repeated, you can say, oh, I felt this earlier, but last time it was much deeper, this time it's much lighter. So some variations will be there. And as we become more and more sensitive towards this, more you try to read, more you will see. And once you start writing your journal, how you felt, how long you sat, what time you sat, things like that, some fundamental things like that, preliminary things, you will be able to observe more and more. This awareness that we carry during meditation, and later on, supercharged after the meditation, and we see keenly with a lot of interest how you feel. And a little sankalpa, meaning some suggestion has to be made after the meditation, having read that inner state, that I will try and maintain, if not intensify the state that I have now. That means, let's say after the meditation, having breakfast, now you have gone to office or you have gone to college. And in between, you're supposed to go to bathroom, or you had some free time and you are just doing nothing on your table. Just close your eyes for 30 seconds or 20 seconds and try to recollect the state you had earlier. And each time you change your task, connect yourself with the master and see what happens.
Thank you.
And whenever we connect ourselves with the master or your inner state, observe how your spiritual state changes. Whether you are receiving transmission or cleaning is happening, this all depends upon our keen interest. You will not find even any single moment where transmission is not flowing into us. It is always there.
Got it.
Okay,
Thanks.
Pragya.
Thanks, Daaji. Sorry, I didn't realize I interrupted you in between, but thank you for that. And I hope Anusha's question is answered. Daaji, the second person we are going to is Mr. Muthu Murugappan. He's a promoter, and also he's part of the family of a very reputed and reckoned Murugappa group, in the southern part of India. So, Muthuji, if you're here, please do ask your question.
Thanks, Pragya, and Namaste, Daaji. Very
Namaste.
fortunate and Very grateful to be a part of the gathering today, and very good evening to everyone. My question, often in the world of business, one has to be quite tough and take some tough stances. So how is that consistent with the softness of heart and the opening of the heart that we follow with the heartfulness practice and the practice enables? It'd be good to hear your views.
Give me a real concrete example where you had to use your solid rock heart versus smooth and soft heart.
So I think recently in our company we had to go through a cost-cutting exercise. So we had to let go of a lot of people, even people who have served our organization for a very long time. So it was quite challenging to do that, but I think the business conditions had prompted that. So this is one sort of example which prompted me to ask this question.
Well, you did your part. So there is nothing wrong in regulating your expenses when it comes to survival of a company. Because if you go on moving with the burden, one day the company itself will become a history. So it is better to let go of few people. It's a bitter experience. People who have been there with you from inception, perhaps. But it also shows something. How many people you got rid of were non-performers, kind of. It's also an opportunity of getting rid of the extra baggage that was non-productive. It's easy for me to say such a thing because I am not part of it at the moment. But whenever there is an excellent employee, your heart bleeds before you even get rid of that person. You will never get rid of a person who is truly efficient and delivering to a company. No one can afford to fire such an individual. When someone becomes so indispensable because of efficiency, to get rid of such a person, of course, it will pain, but it will not happen that you cannot get rid of such a person. See? And when firing or getting rid of a person who is non-productive, why would you feel bad anyway? You should not take it upon your shoulder and say, oh, why should I worry about this person? Why not? So it depends on productivity. Many a times we have to make certain decisions for the good of the company. And I don't think there is a worse heart or a good heart. You cannot attribute these qualities when it comes to making certain decisions. I would not worry about that, Mr. Muthu.
Thank you. Thank you, Daaji. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Daaji, our next question is from Abhavya. Abhavya, you've had your hand raised even the last few sessions, so please go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, thank you so much for giving me this chance. Namaste, Daaji.
Namaste, Abhavya.
Daaji, I'm Abhavya from Vidisha और मुझे अभ्यासी बने 8.5 महीने हुए हैं दादी और मैं 18 इयर्स की हूँ। ये 8.5 महीने दादी मेरी लाइफ के बेस्ट रहे हैं। थैंक यू सो मच दादी फॉर एवरीथिंग। लिटरली यू आर माय एवरीथिंग। आई लव यू सो मच दादी। एंड मैंने आपको मेल करा था कि मुझे कान्हा आना है। ये मेरा फर्स्ट टाइम होएगा आने के लिए, तो मैं ये चाहती हूँ कि मैं आपसे ब्लेसिंग्स मिले मुझे कि मैं इस बार और हर बार कान्हा आ सकूं। और दादी मेरा
याद जाइए वहां पे एक अभ्यासी है पिंकू करके, उनके साथ ले आना उनको।
टिंकू ताऊ जी।
हाँ, जानती हो ना?
हाँ जी, उनसे मैं सिटिंग्स लेती हूँ।
अच्छा।
हाँ,
और
दाजी मेरा।
कभी तब ऐसी बड़ी पब्लिक में जब बात करो ना, तो ऐसा
हाँ
नहीं
दादी।
बोलना चाहिए कि मैं 18 साल की हूँ, मैं आई लव यू एंड ऑल दैट। ये ये इज्जत का सवाल हो जाता है बाद में। कोई
नहीं दादी, वो मेरी
मुझे तो मैं
फीलिंग्स है वो
बड़ा
आपके लिए।
ठीक है,
Of course, आप प्लीज क्वेश्चन पूछिए.
फिर
हाँ
पूछ
जी
लेते हैं। हाँ।
दादी, जैसे हम 3 सिटिंग्स लेते हैं और गुरु जो दीक्षा देते हैं, तो उसमें फर्क क्या होता है दादी? और अभ्यासी में ऐसी क्या क्वालिटीज होती हैं जब गुरु उन्हें दीक्षित करते हैं? और दादी, मैंने एक चीज आपके लिए गुजराती में याद रख करी थी। मैंने कायम तुम्हारे साथ रखो दादी। थैंक यू सो मच।
कायम साथ राखीश तो तू बोर થઈ જઈશ. हाँ, तो पागल हो जाएगी हमारे साथ कायम रहेगी तो.
थैंक यू
Anyway,
सो मच दादी फॉर एवरीथिंग।
thank you, thank you. There is a big difference. You will come to know when the Diksha really happens. There are levels and levels of what we call initiation. The first initiation that we have is from our mother, who gives us the birth, brings us in this world, teaches us so many things. I mean, that list is indescribable. Then comes the role of father. Then comes the role of this elders in the family and teachers of various sorts. Then comes the role of preceptors who introduces us to Sahaj Mark system. Then comes the guru who one day initiates you directly to the hierarchy. And then finally, God takes you into himself. That is the final initiation by God. So there are stages and stages, and each time the preparation is from our side, and we don't have to do much actually. Just keep doing the right thing, that's all. That means avoiding the pitfalls. When we fix our mind on a goal, automatically the other things should drop off.
Sure, Daji. We also have Daji Geeta Srinivasan, who is about 75 years old, and she has, remarkable spirit. And I actually wanted to just express her gratitude. She recently started meditating, so just wanted to say that. So I'm sharing that with you on her behalf. The next question is from Sudha Iyer. She's a yoga trainer who's based in California. And she just wanted to ask her question, which is around acceptance versus action. She says that this is something I struggle with all the time. Meditation has taught me acceptance and peace, teaching me that love and happiness exists no matter where I am or what my situation is. However, it's discontentment or dissatisfaction with the current state that drives action to change the status quo. So she's just confused on where that so much about the outcome is related to her action. So it's whether she should act or not act.
Hmm. Well, it's easy to say, when Babuji Maharaj talks about acceptance from the brighter world, he was telling this to our medium who was receiving these messages. For years and years, she could not go out of her apartment because of her health reasons. Even by wheelchairs, she could not go out. So she used to plead with Babuji, what is going on? Please help me recover. Please give me even one day of good health. Babuji would keep on consoling her. You got to accept this. You have to accept this. You see, what action would you take that will relieve you from this pain? There is nothing. You have tried everything and nothing is happening. And then, as it was becoming more and more difficult for her to accept things, Babuji keeps on telling her, you should accept, not only accept, but accept with cheerfulness. Now, when it comes to, few things like this, we are human beings and we are all imperfect, right? Now, in a family, when I have argument with my wife, maybe I'm hard at times, maybe she's hard at times. Would she have to accept what I say, or would I have to accept each time? And what action can I take to go against it? Will it be fruitful for me to take action? Is action any worth it? Or should I simply accept it as if the other person is never ever going to change? And once you settle down with this in your heart, there's peace. It's difficult. I know how difficult it can be in a real life situation, but there is no other way. If I don't accept the situation which is troublesome, I will suffer. The suffering will go on. At the same time, I will not learn anything out of this suffering because I am rejecting it all the time. But moment I accept it, okay, I accept this. Now I'll start working on the next phase of action. The solution will come. But if I rebel it, how dare she? When I address my wife like that, then I will never have a solution. And there will be bitterness all the time. So, understanding that I am weak, other person is also weak. I am imperfect, she is also imperfect. When there are imperfect beings, there is going to be noise and friction. It's okay. Leave a little bit of margin. In India, we have that margin. When you write a note, our teachers make sure that we may leave a margin. Leave a margin of error for everybody in life, including self. There'll be peace then, see. And whenever we look for faults in us or faults in others, they're highlighted. I have seen, when my boys were younger, and I keep them on my chest and we play. Sometimes he would drink water and splash it on my face. I used to enjoy that. Now, if some stranger does that to you, see, so we are able to take on, in fact, take pride and even narrate like this in public forum, that you see my son did this and I enjoyed it. So when we love, we let go of so many mistakes. We close our eyes. Okay, go ahead, do that. See, so acceptance shows how much you love the other person. Thank you.
Thank you, Daaji.
I would request PK Verma ji to ask the next question, please. You have your hand raised.
राजी नमस्ते, ये मेरे फादर हैं, इन्होंने अभी मैंने इनको ज्वाइन कराया हार्टफुलनेस 2 हफ्ते पहले। नूतन जी के अंडर में हम लोग दिल्ली से बोल रहे हैं
जी,
और ये क्वेश्चन पूछना चाहते हैं, पूछिए राजी से।
प्रणाम।
15 दिन से नूतन जी के अपने गाइडेंस में ये ज्वाइन किया है और मैं दिल्ली से बोल रहा हूँ। मैं इसमें और भी कुछ प्रोग्रेस के बारे में पूछना चाहता हूँ कि भी कैसे और क्या किया जाए, क्योंकि किताब भी मैं काफी पढ़ रहा हूँ और उससे मुझे कुछ ज्ञान भी प्राप्त हुआ है।
आपका प्रश्न?
Daaji, he's asking that how can he accelerate his process in meditation? He has just recently started. So what is your advice to him so that he can progress fast?
आप फिक्र मत कीजिए साहब। मालिक जब जिम्मेदारी लेते हैं वो पूरी जिम्मेदारी लेते हैं। हमारी ओर से जब हम शिष्य बन जाते हैं गुरु के, तो एक ही काम करना है, जो वो कहे वो करना है बस। उन्होंने कहा है सुबह ध्यान करो, शाम को सफाई करो, रात को सोने से पहले प्रार्थना करो और शांति से सो जाओ, जैसे अपनी गोदी में खुद ईश्वर सोए हुए हैं। बस चैन से जियो, आप फिक्र मत करना साहब, बाबूजी आपके साथ है।
Thank you, Daji. We also have Imran, who is the head of department of physiotherapy at Wakart. Imran ji, would you like to ask your question, please?
नमस्ते दाजी।
नमस्ते इमरान।
सबसे पहली चीज, I have reached to a level जहाँ पे there's a lot of responsibilities I take. Sometimes it becomes very difficult to organize and get things, and it becomes like a burden. I have also, like someone else mentioned this, I've joined recently and I've started practicing meditation. Any advice you would like to give it to me as a beginner who is getting into it and work, and this, how can I take this practice of mine into my work and get my work organized?
Best time to reflect on such activities is bedtime. Before you retire for bed, scan all your activities, what you have done, where you have shortchanged yourself. See, every activity takes you to a next level. If you leave any work half finished, it will haunt you. It will haunt you even in your subconscious sleep levels. ये नहीं हुआ, क्या करेंगे? Halfway in the sleep, you'll wake up and say, "Oh, ये नहीं हुआ आज, इसको फोन करना था, रह गया." So, when we are scanning our day-to-day's entire work, moment I woke up, whether I did meditation or not, whether I did it properly or not, whether I did my breakfast properly or not, or I just went to office without breakfast. All these things, you see, scan all these things. And every act should become perfect. Only then you say, okay, now, tomorrow I'll do it better. जो मुझ में खामी है, कमियां है, उसको कल नहीं होने दूंगा. Within 1 week, you will see your life changed. Just scan your activities, and each time you do anything wrong, promise yourself that I will not do this wrong thing ever again. And when we have succeeded in things doing just correctly, just how it should be, there is some room for improvement, and see where you can improve further. So there will be a constant upgrading of yourself on every single day, rather say. And later on, time will come. Instead of scanning at night, you'll be scanning ahead of doing the work. How not to make mistakes when you take up any work. You see, in the beginning, you're analyzing the work after the work and judging yourself or judging your work. But as we improve, you'll start scanning your daily routine in the morning. आज ये करना है और ऐसे करूँगा. So you are able to avoid unnecessary actions. You are able to avoid pitfalls and mistakes. So you will be able to save a lot of time also and energy. And you'll be thoroughly well-organized individual. You see what happens next. Thank you.
I will definitely. Thank you so much.
Yeah, those were some great tips, Daaji. I'm also going to start following them. I'm very disorganized. We'll go to the next question to Anusha and Shriram. Shriram is a former McKinsey consultant and is now a leadership and personal transformation facilitator. So go ahead, Shriram.
Thank you, Pragya. Pranam, Daaji.
No, Shriram.
My question is what is ego and what is love, and what is the connection between the two?
Ego is not a real thing. Many people, they blame darkness, praise light. But you cannot admire the darkness without light. Will there be darkness ever and ever? But that is the true nature of existence. Imagine what was there when there was no universe. There was no creation. That means no suns, no stars that would emit light. So the original nature of this universe before its manifestation is darkness. Light came much later. Now, when we talk of ego, is there anything like ego at all? No, it is absence of awareness. Just as darkness is absence of light, ego is absence of your true awareness. And when you're not aware, you do all kinds of wrong things. If anything good happens in unawareness, it is only accidental. But we should not get so disappointed. Many yogis, they blame mind. They say mind is your biggest enemy. It can become your biggest enemy if mind is not in your control. You don't know how to regulate your mind. Then it can become a problem. But as far as ego is concerned, we can tame the ego and take advantage of the same for our benefit. Let me give you an example. What is your hobby other than your profession?
Reading, badminton.
Okay, you love badminton.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, if you are playing against a champion, she's a champion, huh? Wonderful. Where are you playing?
Where we play in Bangalore, where we
You're in
stay.
Bangalore. I see. Okay. Great. Because we are soon going to start badminton academy at Kanha, Shanti, Vanam. And Gopichan will be one of the directors here. We're lucky to start that here. Anyway, giving the example of sports or music or things like that. When you are performing your sports, what would that be? Let's say yesterday you did so well. Would you be happy with your yesterday's performance? You will not. You would like to surpass yourself. Okay. Having surpassed yourself, later on you're playing with the champion and you start declaring, I am better than her. And later on you start declaring, there is nobody better than myself. So now you see the ego manifesting in a different way. I can do better than yesterday. That is Swabhiman. It's a pride of my profession. I can do better. That's a pride, self-pride, Swabhiman. But nobody is better than me when you declare such a thing. It is gamand, arrogance. Right? It's another face of ego. One person is taking advantage of the same ego and say, I can become a better player. I can become a better musician. I can become better at my profession. But to declare with arrogance that no one is better than me, that's a problem. So ego, we should not be worried too much about it. Take advantage of it and move on with it. See? Love also. If you associate love and ego, I love so and so so much. Why don't we do that? See? There is no one better than me in loving my darling, for example, or I love my mother so much. No one loves their mother so much. So we can utilize this ego in a positive way. But when we start blowing our own trumpets in a very negative way, my way or otherwise, then that ego will clash with your loved ones and you will become their enemy. So it's up to us how we utilize these sentiments. Either you can build with it or you can destroy it. It's like knife. With knife, you can cut vegetables and cook nice dishes. It's the same knife you can use to kill someone too. So ego is like that. See? And that's why we have these spiritual practices. It's very easy to renounce the world. You can become a renunciate, you can become a sannyasi. It's just very easy. But to renounce your ego is not everybody's job. In a family life, we learn to sacrifice our own desires. We learn to swallow our own pride and ego. That's why it's a training ground where you can learn to love each other. And then we become eligible to love God. First we master. The family is the playground where we practice. Thank you. You have a lovely question you have. Thank you.
Daaji, we have a Abhyasi from Thailand. He asks, his name is Boon Yarit. I want to ask about how to prepare ourselves at the moment of death.
Moment of death. First of all, you have to know, I'm going now. Most people don't know when they are going to go. So, we should be ready all the time. Who knows when God calls me? If I have to be prepared, let's see, if someone gives you a time that God is going to pick you up after 1 week, what will you do? Or if God gives you 1 hour, what will you do? Spiritual practice has to prepare us once and for all. Preparation is such, it's not like a college or school exams that whole year you don't attend the class and last few minutes you try to study it. If you're lucky, you can pass. Or if you're lucky and influential, you can get the whole questionnaire in front of you and you just mug up those questions and answer it, and you can pass the exams. But death is not like that, see. At the moment of death, depending on my spiritual state, when my soul departs, leaves this body, it will reach to that same dimension which will match my soul. I cannot create that pure vibration at the last minute on just like a whim. That's, let me reach to such a 7th dimension or 8th dimension. It cannot happen. I had to be prepared from the beginning itself. So,
Daaji, are you saying almost our whole lives is a way to prepare for that moment of death because you kind of build every day to be ready?
well, yes and no, because if we say you have to think of death all the time, that will be very morbid, right? But in heart of heart, when we perform all our activities in the best possible way, see, that is the crux of the whole thing. See. I should not leave anything haphazard, see, or halfway or incomplete. Then these incomplete tasks haunt you even in the sleep. Haven't you seen some dreams where you forgot your pencil in the exams?
Yes.
Or you were going to the plane, but you missed your flight.
Yes.
Or many things like that. You were supposed to give your math exam, and all of a sudden you forgot your, you learned that you don't have a rubber, or you don't have a pencil, or you don't have a pen. You get scared. These are all examples of unfinished tasks that we leave day after day. In the family, father says something and you don't do it. Mother says something, you don't do it. It piles up, all these not done tasks. Many tasks are not even talked about and we don't finish them. They remain buried in our conscience. Other person may not know it, but I know for sure, my conscience knows it, that I didn't do it, I didn't complete it. So we carry a baggage, very heavy baggage of incomplete tasks, which is very painful actually. And that is the main thing, Lord Krishna, he talks of karmanyavadhikaras, he talks of karma so much. We already have so much of load of karma. We worry too much about it. I mean, nothing wrong with it. We never pay attention to inactions. Inaction is the one that makes us not complete our tasks. Something that should have done, I did not do. That is inaction. I saw, while I was driving and I saw someone fell down. And later on in the evening, I hear the news that at such and such junction, somebody who had fallen down had died. I had the opportunity when I saw a person falling, I could have got out of my car, made a phone call and taken him or her to a hospital. And if you are a doctor making rounds in emergency, visiting one patient after the other patient, and one patient calls you, doc, please come see what's happening to my heart. And you say, please wait. I have to go meet somebody. And by the time you come, that person has died. Postponing your action also is a problem. I mean, right, wrong, I'm not saying anything, but certain inactions leaves a very heavy dent on your heart. It makes you feel so guilty.
Yeah.
No actions would create such a impact on your heart. Even if you do a bad thing, it is still better than not doing anything. Somebody fell down, you could not help properly, right? You try to make a phone call and something happened. You try. That is better than not doing anything. So somehow I feel that Lord Krishna, he lectured on karma, but the whole theory remains incomplete without including akarma. So.
Yeah. Makes sense. Thank you, Daaji. Thank you for that. And we're at 9:15 now. So would you like to meditate or?
I love to meditate.
Sure. So.
Please start meditation.